50 years ago, the Kerner Commission said white racism put African Americans at an extreme disadvantage. A new report from the Economic Policy Institute found while some steps toward equality have been made, racial inequality around prison rates, housing, and unemployment has actually become worse. Rick Hurst, publisher of An African American Point of View, spoke with me about the local implications of the report.
Well, it's not new to me. My reaction is that it's good to know that they've reviewed it and come up with the facts. It's all true. Incarceration has gotten remarkably worse. Home ownership has gotten it's gotten worse, and in the sense, number one, it hasn't gotten any better. But even more important, during the 2007-2008 economic downturn, the whole idea of black folks being charged higher rates for houses came to the surface.
In looking at this most recent update of the Kerner Commission report, which came out in 1968, African Americans have been put behind bars at nearly triple the rate since 1968. I've heard you talk a lot about the impact the drug war on the 80s has had on the African American community. Do you think that's behind those numbers?
I think the drug war is what drove the numbers up so dramatically, and the fact that during that period, drug laws were passed that discriminated against African Americans. African Americans took some of the same drugs, sold some of the same drugs that white folks took and sold, and in one case they got 100 times more time. And not only that, though, when they go before the courts, they're treated differently. You've got mostly white judges. You've got mostly white juries, and when black folks come before the courts, they're considered guilty until proven innocent. And it's very difficult to not take a plea.
So looking at the unemployment rates, this report found that nationally, African Americans, the rate of unemployment is twice that of white Americans. Do you think that that's a direct result of those jail and prison rates?
Of course, but I think that those rates mask the reality, because a lot of people who come out of jail cannot get jobs, and so they're no longer in the workforce. So they're
because a felony is getting in the way of that, or whatever charges they were.
That's right. And Corey reports that block them from getting employment. They get discouraged and they don't look for work anymore, and so and that's not reflected in the unemployment rate. So my point is, it's really much higher than the 6-point-something%.
This report found that black homeownership remains just over 40%, which is 30% lower than whites, right?
Yes.
What's the impact that you've seen that have?
Well, the biggest impact it has is that black folks don't accumulate the wealth. The biggest wealth in families is in housing. And if we can't get housing and pay into it and develop the equity, then we have very difficult time accumulating the wealth.
This report also pointed out some improvements that it found over the 50 years since the Kerner report was released. Among them, education rates. 90% of African Americans are completing high school, compared to 54% in the 1960s. And then college degree, that report says, has more than doubled to 23%. How have those strides been made, do you think?
Well, first of all, the colleges have been more receptive. Second of all, we're talking about second, third generation black folks, and like most immigrants, it's been natural for families to want their kids to go on beyond where they have made it. And not only that, black folks has found it to be that they believe that it would pay off to get an education. Unfortunately, that has not always been the case.
Wages have not seen the increases that they should have compared to white people in this country, according to this report too, right?
Yeah, wages have not grown substantially, and you might think that's the bigger problem. But to be frank with you, I think the bigger problem is economic development and accumulation of wealth, and the fact that we focused on this term poverty instead of wealth development and economic development. We spent over $1 trillion on these poverty programs over the years since 1968. If we had put that money into economic development of our own communities, and help people to train to run business in their own communities, it would have made a big difference. Wages and salaries, that's not how you grow wealth. The more important thing is wealth development and economic development. We have fewer businesses right here in Springfield and the black community than we did before 1968.
I want to ask you about something that you wrote about in the most recent edition of your paper. You said, quote, "So many of all races are so well trained to treat racism as though it doesn't exist." What prompted you to write that?
Because I understand the damage that is caused by treating racism as though it doesn't exist. It does exist. And if we're going to communicate among ourselves as to how we're going to make things better and more unified and how we're going to cooperate, then you got to agree with the real problem. By calling racism by any other name is not to make it racism, and it's not to really deal with the problem. I use the term because I know it jolts people, and I believe that we need to be jolted. We need to face up to the problem for what it is. It's never gone away, and there's no sense in people convincing themselves that it's gone, because then they become passive in terms of dealing with the problem. And this current report confirms my point.